bro? You came up and just popped in.
What's good, man?
Hey, you
Good morning,
entertained
good
or
morning, good
what?
morning.
Hey, dude. Hey, congratulations on your small victory recently.
Man, it is what I said it was from the
Oh,
gate.
your internet. There you go.
It is what it is. Like I said what it was, and that's exactly what it was. I never told no lies, man. And there's a lot that'll get cleared up in the months to come. I just love how clout's a terrible thing, man. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It's a sickness. And I get it, I got trolls and
I
different
got, I
area
got, I
codes.
got trolls.
You know what I mean? It's cool, man. I get it. And I
You're
don't
like,
take it personal, man. If that's
yeah,
what you got to
you're
do to try to be
like Coach
somebody, then
Son
do it.
Campbell. That's who you remind me of. Like the way.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, what they eat don't make me shit, man. It don't make no difference in my life. My channel continues to grow. I continue to grow as a person, and that's what it's about. And if you got to talk about me to, further your life, then do what you do. Do what you do, man. I'm not mad at you. It does get a little irritating when you hear people telling lies on you, but that speaks on their character, not mine.
This is the thing, though. Why now that this happened, none of these other channels will come and report that? I don't get that.
You got to understand something, right? They're not going to take the videos down, because if they take the videos down, they lose their monetization. You know what I mean? The majority of these channels that became monetized only became monetized off the videos they made about me. And if you want to know who somebody is, just go to their videos prior to talking about me. So I went back to his oldest videos, and I'm like, all right, this dude don't have a combined 100 views off all the videos he done prior to me. Then he drops a video about me, and it's got thousands of views. So what do you think his next video is going to be about? Me. That does views. What's the next video going to be about? Me. That does views. So it's not a shock. Do your thing.
Yeah.
I want you to understand something, right? Because I live in Virginia. Virginia is a Commonwealth state. In a Commonwealth state, they don't need a victim. They don't need a witness. All they need is a statement or pictures, right? So if you battered somebody, you beat somebody up, there's pictures. The first thing the cops are going to do is take pictures. I don't care if it's so much as a red mark that's going to disappear 5 minutes from now. They're going to take a picture of it so they can, keep it captured. There's none of that. There's none of that. I've never, and I repeat, I've never put my hands on my wife or any other woman for that matter. So I didn't even know there was a battery charge. Had no clue. I go to court and they're like, my lawyer tells me they hit you with a battery. I'm like, a battery for what? Now do your research. Do your research on battery, simple assault. You can get a battery from just making somebody feel threatened. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to lay a finger on them. Just the presence or the thought of violence can be considered battery. And there was never any of that. I would have had the whole situation that got blown so out of proportion. I wouldn't have got so freaked out. And then I heard somewhere that I was drunk. I was high out of my mind. Okay, there was cops everywhere. I didn't get a DUI. The first thing they do when you go to jail is do your blood work. I didn't get no DUI. I don't have a drug charge, but people will take it and run with it. Well, he didn't get one, but it's somewhere. Where? It's just, it's what people have to do, and they don't know the truth. If they took the things that they knew to be facts and made a video out of it, it would be a 30-second video. That would be it.
Yeah, you're right. And it gets no views either.
No.
They don't care.
And I'm okay with it. Like I said, I'm not mad at nobody, man. They can paint me out to be whatever they want, and then they get mad because everybody doesn't agree with them, because everyone else knows the truth, and not everybody's going to drink the Kool-Aid that some little rinky dink puts out, man. You can spin your narrative, you can tell your lies, you can say whatever you want, but that's not the facts of the matter. And let's get into the donations. At no point in time have I ever begged anybody. You've never heard me say, please, please, please. No, none of that. I was hacked December 2022 and had an astronomical amount of money taken. At no point did you hear me say, please, please, please send money. No. Why? Because I was free. I was still able to make my moves, do what I do, continue to work. So
you even told you even told other people not to do it.
Do not. People were trying to raise donations, link cash apps. I said no.
and they still
Here's
did
what
it.
the average person.
Yeah, he
Here's
refused
what
it.
you don't get. When you go to jail, you lose access to your bank accounts. You don't get to go to the ATM and say, "Hey, I'm in jail. I need some money." Don't happen. And then with the donations, it wasn't like it was 20,000, 10,000. It was a little over $2,000. A little over $2,000. And not saying I'm not appreciative. Thank you. Meant the world. My subs are some of the best there is on YouTube. But people just, they assume and let them assume. You know, like with the vehicles, they're like, you still got the Hummer? I do. But what you don't know is I sold 3 trucks. I sold a car.
Yeah, you
Like I
did
got
that.
rid of a,
Yes.
you know, the Charger. I sold the Charger. I ended up selling 3 trucks and a car. Like, so don't act like I didn't do my part.
I know that's true because AZ was going to get a truck, and you guys had to get that way. And another thing too is there was a level of uncertainty when you were in jail, and you said, "Yo, send that, dude." We didn't know what was going to happen. You
I
know what I'm
did not.
saying? So
And
for the
you got to
and
remember, man, I come up with just being in jail and what I had laying around. I came up with a large amount of money, right? To the point that all that was exhausted. Now I'm putting into for power of attorney for somebody to go and be able to get money out of my bank account. That takes time. I'm locked up. It's not like I can go to the bank and get something notarized. It takes time. So even prior to that, when I made that video, I had just retained my counsel. The one with the one court hearing, it was a court appointed. I fired him and then I retained my counsel. So I didn't know what I was facing going forward. I didn't know if the bond was going to be 50,000, 100,000. I didn't know how much money was needed. I just knew that I had went through what I had laying around, what I had access to, what I could get my hands on, and then I was at a stalemate. I couldn't, like, you can't call the bank collect. Hey, I'm locked up. I'm sending somebody to get some money. No, they're not giving your money to anybody. You've got to come and get your money. So, I mean, I turn to the community that has turned to me a million times. People don't know what I do. They don't know that I do nonprofit work. They don't know that I've got 5 shelter dogs at my house and a cat. They don't know that I've raised 3 adopted children. The people that watch me do, but that's the stuff people won't tell you.
I remember your early lives. You used to go into rec centers. I used to always be at the park and going live.
I still do. I still do. I've got to go Saturday with Thomas Monday from A Better Day Than Yesterday to a food drive and pass out food to homeless people and to recovery centers, and bring food into the food drive to pass out to people. That's the things people don't know. But here's the thing: I don't have to get on YouTube and show everything I do in life to try to make myself look like a good guy. Like, you're not going to see me go, "Hey, this is my pet rock that I adopted." It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I am who I am, and I don't have to get on here and prove that. And to say that, like, somebody sent me a clip where it said I put all. Go ahead.
The amount of YouTubers you put on, like, even myself, you've looked out for me. You looked out for a lot of dudes, like, even up to the point where, like, Lance and Domi, where you had them established.
Right. And I want people to understand this. On the night of the police chase, I live out, like, I moved, man. I moved outside the city. I mean, I live in the country. It's peaceful. I mean, I'll show you. It's very peaceful. I wanted to get away from everything I had ever known. So that's what I did. I moved away from all that. So the night that everything took place, and I looked behind me and I seen this massive amount of cops, all these cops, and I freaked out. I was coming through a town after midnight where there's nobody on the road. There's nobody. I'm not passing cars. I'm not flying past families. It is complete darkness except for me and the trail of cops behind me. So at no point did I ever you could say with the police officers, absolutely. And I much love to them. And I'm glad that all of us made it out the situation. I think God had a bigger plan for that night. I think the best outcome is what came of it. But it wasn't like I was running by minivans packed full of children and school buses full of kids. It was after midnight coming down a country road, a two-way road, 2 lanes on each side. And I was not passing traffic. There wasn't other cars on the road. At this time of night coming through this town, there's nobody out there. If you're a cop and you're sitting there waiting for a speeder and you're on a 3rd shift, you're probably going to fall asleep with nothing to do. Like I was coming through 5 o'clock rush hour traffic where there was hundreds of people on the road. No, there wasn't. This was after midnight. No, there was none of that. There was none of that.
Middle of the day. Yeah.
No, and let me say this again, man. I'm very grateful. I'm very humble. Sometimes, God does things to sit us down and slow us down. Not to say for somebody to say that, I was all messed up on drugs, that is 100% bullshit. 100% bullshit. People can act like it, they can say it, you can say whatever you want. That's not the case. I won't get too in detail with it because, as you know, I've still got cases pending. So, and that I guess that's somehow they're saying it's part of a case. If I had a drug charge, it would be a drug charge. You could go pull it up on General District, it would be right there. But because somebody says it, it's true. This is YouTube. I get it. But here's the thing, and this is what I know. One thing for sure, two things for certain. You're not going to get famous off of my name. You're not. You can only tell the same story, tell the same lie, spin the same narratives too many times before people are like, all right, this dude's just a dick eater. He's a whole entire dick eater. I heard y'all say the other night that on the situation, I'm kind of on the bottom. You're right. I've been laying back. Just getting my nuts gobbled. Like, I'm not these dudes, and they're nobodies to me at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, they're nobodies to me. Who are they? They're nobodies to me. You talk about a dude that proclaims to be part of one of the biggest New York weed busts ever, right? That's his words, right?
Yeah.
Where did his co-defendant go? His co-defendant went to prison for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
And he went home. You want to go to jail or you want to go home? I want to go home. You want to go to jail? I want to go home. He went home. If he talks this much about me, what do you think he would do if he was in a jam? 40 videos on me and he ain't in no trouble. Imagine if he was in trouble. It'd be a 40-hour confession. It's just annoying, man, because the bottom line is the dude don't know me. The dude don't know what he's talking about. If the guy was to meet me, he'd be like, you know what? I was completely wrong. He's a good guy. But once you say something and people attach to it and they ride with you, then you got to stick to it. You know what I mean? If that's what the majority of your views is coming from, then you got to stick to that content. If he starts backpedaling, Jay is actually a good guy. People are going to start watching. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Because he's grabbed a hold of like the 0.001% of people that, for whatever reason or another, don't like me, whether it be their stands. Because dude is a stand as well. Let's make that very clear. I've got several emails from this dude talking about he did 8 years in prison. He did 7 years in prison. Then he backpedals and said, I did 7 months in prison. Dude's a stand. He's a disgruntled stand at his own admission. But if I'd have just, I guess, while receiving thousands of emails a day, responded to him, we probably wouldn't be here. He's going to have to change things up because there's only so many times you could tell the same lie. There's only so many times you can spin the same narrative. I just climbed 1,000 subs, and I woke up this morning. I've climbed another 1,000 subs. It's not like I'm not making. I continue to grow, man. There's a lot of people that have been around for a long time that know who I am. And shout out to Real Kens TV.
Yeah, and then Hope, and then this girl named Hope, bro. She made a channel just to support you, and now she's
big shout out to Hope, man. Thank you. Here's the thing I love, right? It just goes to show the mentality. You're innocent until proven guilty, right? No, you're not. You're pretty much guilty until proven innocent, or guilty until proven guilty.
That is facts.
Because even though I knew this was going to happen, it's like, I know I'll beat the charges. I knew that from the time they put me in jail because I know what's real and what's not real. I knew that shit was not real. I know at no point was there any altercation, any fight, any physical, any gun. I knew there was none of that night that everything took place. It was a stupid argument, an argument. There was nothing outside of that, nothing more, nothing less. That's all it was. So I was confident from day one, all right, this is all getting thrown out because it's not real. It didn't happen. You can't go to court and show that it happened. If somebody gets beat up, they take pictures. And even without that person, now they've got pictures and they can't convict. This is a Commonwealth state. There was none of that. So it comes out and then it's like, well, he's doing this, he's doing that. I'm doing what? I'm doing exactly what I told you it was going to be from day one. I'm not psychic, but I know what I did and didn't do. So if your whole reason to call me a bad person is based off of some shit that I didn't do, that I was found not guilty for, like, come on, man. You know, a lot of these dudes need to be prosecutors is what they need to do, or go ahead and go and apply for that badge.
There's 2 charges remaining, and that's it. And when's your next
I've got the gun charge. I've got the gun charge, which I'd be surprised if they don't drop that before court. Because they know just even them showing up, it's a waste of time. But if they do, we'll go deal with it, and it will be dropped. And then I've got the eluding. Here's the thing with the eluding, right? Was the eluding stupid? Yes. Very, very, very stupid.
I get it.
But you need to understand something. Everybody needs to understand this. I felt like I was being targeted. I felt like I was being hunted down. And when I looked in my rear view, there wasn't a cop car behind me. It was an ocean of cop cars behind me. Now
Scary.
you're talking about a guy that don't want to go to prison, that don't want to go back to jail, that already understands that these people aren't here to talk. They don't want to talk. There's one outcome tonight, and that's I go to jail. I didn't want to go to jail. And then somebody said, well, he was running because he had a gun on him. When everything took place, over 3-4 hours had passed since the whole initial ordeal. And I'm not saying that I got rid of no gun because I didn't. But your theory of I ran with a gun on me wouldn't make sense if hours had passed since the incident.
Exactly.
And I knew cops were looking for me.
Yeah, people think you just took off from the supposed incident, and that's not how it went at all.
No, that's not how it happened, man. I went home, tucked my son in bed, said our prayers, did all that. And then that's when everything came to light that, hey, this has been said. And I'm like, what? Oh, no. Now, what do you think I'm going to do? Do you think I'm going to sit at home and wait for the cops to come to my house and completely dishevel my son? Wait for the
they're
cops to
coming
show up to
full
my
force.
house and like blue lights and cops everywhere, and my son get up out of bed crying, seeing all this stuff going on? No, I'm going to leave the home. I'm going to pull whatever's going on away from my home.
When that's brought up, they're coming full force, everything out, ready to go.
And I know this, Zebby, and it's crazy because when we went to court the other day, I read the motion of discovery, right? Which is any evidence they had against me, which was nothing. It was like half a page at most. And it said they were setting up down the street from my home, getting ready to hit my house, looking for me, right?
I believe it.
I've done this. I've been down this road before. I know how to deal with the police, right? So you mean to tell me I'm going to sit at my house with my 6-year-old and all my family and wait for these cops to come here and just knock my door down looking for me? No, I'm going to leave. Well, as I was leaving, I passed them. They saw me. I saw them. And they no longer had a reason to go to my house where my family was. And they came behind me. I pulled them away from my home where everybody was. I already knew what was taking place. And the moment I heard what they thought I did, I was like, oh, they're coming. They're coming full-fledged. They pulled my name up, looked at my record. They are on their way.
Yeah.
But to clear things up, no, man. No, at no point ever have I put my hands on my wife or any other woman. I'm a whole entire man. Beat your husband up kind of man. Not the kind of man that beats up his wife. I promise you this. All it would have took was a phone call. Hey, this is Officer such and such, or this is Deputy such and such, or this is Sheriff such and such. Somebody said something about you. Can you come down to the police station so we can talk about this? That would have been the way to address things. Call me like you do every other citizen that's never been to prison or never been to jail. Call me. But they didn't call me. There was no, well, let's see what he's got to say. Let's see what really happened. There's two sides to every story. You know what I mean? Let's get his side of the story. There was never any of that. It was armed, violent ex-con, armed and dangerous, like put a bolo out, arrest him. And when that happens, who's trying to go to jail? I'm not trying to go to jail.
Yeah. Or deal with what wave of whatever's about to happen. I mean,
no, my plan was I'm going to contact my lawyer and find out what's really going on. What is being said about me? And once he figures it out and he can take my side of the story and we can come to an agreement, then we'll talk. But just putting me in a jumpsuit and giving me a court date a month down the road or however long down the road, because you're going to sit denying my bond after bond after bond after bond. No. I'm not trying to go through all that. Now, if you caught me, if I've actually done something and I've got to, man up for that, I'm going to do it. But not just to wait, what you said, what? So now I go to jail. No.
Yeah.
But I did. And now, I mean, I've got to face the eluding, but there was no property damage. Nobody was hurt. The only person that was, you could say relatively hurt was me. And even in the moment that they tased me, it's not like I was fighting or I was being combatant. I just wasn't trying to go to jail. The officer was talking to me. I was arguing with him. I was pretty much telling him, look, man, I'm not going to jail. I'm not trying to go to jail. Like, I haven't done anything. And he took that moment when I was like in the midst of talking to tase me. And it's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to boast about. I didn't want to get tased. Not my proudest moment. I wanted to go home, man. I wanted to get up the following morning, go to work, do my routine, but all that got changed. And it just goes to show you how fast life can change. It can change really, really fast. Sometimes you got control of it. Sometimes you don't. I had no control over the situation that night. And I want to clear something else up real quick. I heard somebody say that I was on drugs or I'm on drugs. I have never been a crack smoker. Never smoked a crumb of crack in my life. Never done any meth. I don't do any dope. That's not me. Somebody said in one of my videos I was talking fast. I have a whole entire monitor on my leg. I go to community corrections, which is pre-trial services, to submit for alcohol tests and drug tests, which is part of being released on bond. I'm not that guy, so don't paint a picture like I'm.
They say you talk fast.
Yeah, in my last video I did, like, I'm trying to keep the videos under 30 minutes. So rather than just talking at my regular pace and telling my stories, I try to speed up the way I talk. That way I don't have to cut out so much. Like, he's talking fast, he's blasted out of his mind. If I was to so much as snort a key bump, I would be back in jail immediately. This thing right here is not, it's not playing. See this? They're not playing with that.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm out here and I'm making the best of my life. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this for anybody that spoke bad on me. I'm not mad at you. I get it. But I can tell you this, as a successful YouTuber, there's no longevity in it. People will start to see you for what you're doing. And the same ones that love you today are gonna hate you tomorrow. If I really wanted to end you, it wouldn't take much, man. I could make one video and send an army of people on you to the point that you can't sleep at night. People that would dig into you to the point that you would delete and run away from YouTube, because they will dig everything from back to when you were 4 years old picking your boogers. Like, but I'm not that guy, man. I'm not. I wish you all the best. I wish y'all well. I wish y'all success. Just know you're not gonna get it off my name. You're not.
Yep.
So run and make your video, clip this, clip that. It's short-lived, man. You're not going to see a check. And I'll tell you, like Forrest Gump said, if you, what Lieutenant Dan said, is the day you make a channel off me and get successful and get a big check, I'll be your first mate.
You got the other channel, right? That's like 15. Like, that channel grew quickly and the algorithm's a little different.
That was almost at 20K and I haven't done much on it. You know, I think what I'm going to do with that channel is I'm going to turn it into I'm going to just straight dedicate it to a podcast. Which I think would be the best thing, because I think having my channel and then having a podcast in my channel is it's too much for one channel. So with that channel being almost at 20K, I think I'm just going to turn that straight into a podcast.
Hey, bro, that's what I'm talking about.
I want to do the dedicated morning lives. I want to check with other content creators, make sure that I don't go over top of anybody I mess with, and start doing the 3-day-a-week lives in the mornings, 2 nights a week live, and then drop 3 videos a week. Because, you know, a long time ago, I said I wanted to stop the construction and do this full time. And I had so much invested in it, so much of my heart, my time, that, to be honest, I probably would have never stopped. I'd probably be 70 years old, still swinging that hammer. Well, I've stopped that now. After 9 years of being a boss, a company owner, and just driving myself crazy, working myself into the ground, never being home, I've stopped that. Now I'm able to really pursue what I enjoy. And that's social media. That's YouTube. You know, I think it's a dream of everybody's to be able to do this. And for me to be blessed with that dream and not, you know, fully take it serious would be stupid on my behalf. But like I said, I'm not a hateful person, man. And if I say anything to offend anybody, it is what it is. But that wasn't my intentions, man. You know, I wish everybody the best, man. I hope everybody lives their best life. They get the happiness they're looking for. And if you're unhappy with life, or life didn't turn out the way you expected it to, being mad at me is not going to fix anything. Bashing me is not going to fix anything. You're still going to wake up tomorrow the same person you were today.
Thank you for watching this clip from the YouTube Streets podcast. This is what we got next coming up. Make sure you have the bells on.
I know there's nothing I could say or do to change the course of time and what happened. What I did, I know was wrong. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I just know that I have to move forward, and the seeds that y'all planted have helped me tremendously. I thank y'all for giving me a second chance at life.